All right, welcome back, everybody. Next episode of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Today is the review. We finished the game 100%. I went through. I grabbed all of the achievements that we were missing. There was a couple at the end there that we didn't 100% get because from last episode. So there was 100% synchronization. That was just doing all the side stuff that didn't take a whole lot of time. I think the biggest one that we had to do was without a grudge, destroy 5,000 destructibles with your carriage. This one was a bitch. To say the very least. This was the grindiest of the grind achievements in this game, and it was a piss off is what it was. But it was really the only one that was somewhat difficult or took time in this game for the most part. But we had 100% on everything, 100% sync completion, you name it, right? So Jack the Ripper, 100%. We're gonna return to main game and just run around in there because I think it's a prettier main game. But overall, I'm going. Oh, it's. I didn't know I did that. Anyways, overall, I'm gonna give Syndicate like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I thought it was a good game. Couple downsides to it was that in the story, the Templars were kind of forgettable, right? Steric was probably the most memorable, but he wasn't like, oh my god, he's such a great villain type thing, which is fine. Otherwise, like Lucy was pretty forgettable. I just remembered her name now. Overall, the allies though were fantastic, right? Jacob and Evie, great protagonists. Everybody that they ran into and helped them, and their side stories were really cool. And I thought they were great. So that kind of like made up for the forgettable Templars, so to speak. And the world was fun and different, right? So it's not as far back in history where there weren't carriages, all you had was like a horse in some of the games, and that was about it. The combat was very different. It was a breath of fresh air for a while, but it was good to get back in the future games to more Assassin's Creed style combat. But the world was fun, right? You had the grapple hook, or whatever the fuck they called it. You had the grapple hook, and you could move around, kind of bounce around. They tried to give Assassin's Creed a huge breath of fresh air that everybody was trying to search for because it kind of lost its way a little bit especially after Unity's horrible reviews and whatnot. The only issue with the world for me was the amount of collectibles that there were. It was absolutely absurd. I think it was twice as much as what it needed to be. I understand with collectibles they want you to run around the world, explore, grab everything, but there were just too many. And I love collectibles. I truly do. I absolutely love collectibles. And this game, I dreaded running around grabbing collectibles. One of the few games I've ever dreaded grabbing collectibles. So yeah, with that, the world was fun. It was great. Too many collectibles, all that kind of good stuff. Now, the gameplay, as I mentioned before, was vastly different, right? You went from old Assassin's Creed, which is kind of just wait for a counter kill, move on to the next guy kind of thing. And then it jumped to Unity, where it was very different. It was way more stealth based, which I think is fantastic. This game kind of hit on that, but it also hit that like Arkham Knight style combat of just beat 'em up. The beat 'em up combat. That's just what I think it's technically called in the world. But other than that, the stealth was fun. The combat was fun, but I'm glad they didn't stick with the combat for future games. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't stick with it, but it is, it's fun to remember that this game has it and come back to if you just want to kind of like beat the shit out of some people. You know what I mean? The stealth was fantastic though. I enjoyed it. The quests were really good for stealth. I thought it was good. Now, onto the quality. The cinematics were great. I really enjoyed the writing of the story. as well. The main story was it was a decent main story, but there was a lot of flavor to it with Evie and Jacob. Their differences, and they're kind of bickering, their sibling bickering. I think Jacob and Evie saved the game. Otherwise, the story might have been not not that great. But with those two leading the helm, I think it improved it a bunch. Great voice acting too by everybody. All of the characters had really good voice acting, and it made it feel lively and not just straight to the point. There's a lot more humor in it than previous games, which is always a breath of fresh air. I love it, some good humor. Otherwise, like, the quality overall, fantastic. I think, granted, we are playing this like 10 years after the game came out, but I mean, you'll see it in the graphics that it's not, hasn't caught up to modern standards, but that's not a huge deal to me personally. I think it looks really good and it plays pretty smoothly. There's, I mean, obviously a couple things here and there, like, what the fuck? What's going on? You know what I mean? But that happens with still video games that come out today. It's really not that big of an issue. So overall, I'm going to give the game a 7 out of 10. I did really enjoy my time. The only thing I really dreaded was the grindy achievement of running around, destroying shit like I'm doing right now. 5,000 things is an absurd number. If you were to go for 100% in this game, I'd say start at the beginning, and anywhere you go, just destroy shit on your way. Otherwise, look up a video like I had to at the end and there's a run, I think, up here. There's a run around here where there's like a marketplace, and you kind of destroy all the food stands because they have a good chunk of destructibles inside a food stand. It doesn't count as just one, so made it a lot quicker that way, but was still super annoying. Was that in the collectibles? I think those were really the only things that really set me off on this game, but otherwise this game calls me back pretty frequently to play, right? The combat being different and vibrant and pretty fun and gruesome always brings me back. And the Jacob and Evie leading the helm, so to speak, was always, breath of fresh air for this. So now for the rest of the channel, well, not the rest of the channel, but for next up on the channel, I got some comments on one of my videos to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was planning on doing Origins and then Odyssey, because we played Mirage and Origins kind of came up. It had the same kind of feel as Origins, so it made me want to play it again, but then someone said you should play Odyssey. So we're going to play Odyssey because I take what you guys say in the comments, and I want to incorporate that and give you guys what you want as well as what I want. So we're going to go run with Odyssey next, and that is a huge game, and it is my favorite or tied for favorite with Black Flag. So we will do that, and I get to see my girl Cassandra again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever it is, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.